All right, start us up.
Me?
Yeah, I did the last one. It's your
Oh
turn.
my. Well,
Start this
welcome
thing up.
welcome to episode 39 and I am brain dead as usual. I'm all wore out. I've been busy. Had church every night this week, working 10 hours a day too on top of it, and I'm
You
trying to get ready for this bear hunt
you've been busy
and
napping.
I am fried, man. I can't think straight. I've been writing stuff down and trying to load the car.
You're busy napping. That's all you're doing is napping.
I should be napping. I almost fell asleep when we was recording last night.
I know. I know you did.
For those that don't know, we're recording 2 nights in a row
Yep.
because
We got
we're traveling around now.
yeah.
It's that time of year we're gonna be hunting, so
Yeah, after this one this should be back on course
for a couple
for
weeks,
for
yeah.
a couple weeks until we meet up for Sika. But we're going to try to give you as the season goes, we're going to try to give people a recap from the previous week's hunting
Yeah.
as we go into the season. That's what I'd like to try
You
to
know
do.
what we should do? Live from the hotel, Sitka Hotel.
We could do that.
We should go live.
We could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah, let's
pretty
do that.
fun. That'd be
It'd
okay.
have to be on YouTube though.
It's all right.
Yeah. We can do
Don't
that.
matter.
Yeah, let's do that.
That would be
Good
fun.
idea. About time you come up with something.
Something. I come up with something.
Yeah.
I got to do all the work around here.
Yep. So I today's Thursday. I leave Saturday morning. I'm going hunting. You leave Sunday night
Sunday
for
night.
bear hunting,
Yes.
and you'll be gone for a week.
Yes.
Um, and then we should be back on track.
If we don't kill anything, at least we should have some good stories for the next episode.
Exactly. So your stories will be on episode 30. Yeah,
40.
episode 40. 40, sorry. Yep.
Yep.
All right. So today's podcast, I thought of it this morning because my trail cameras went ballistic.
Hmm.
Um, and not only do I have cameras in PA, I also have cameras in my home state of Maryland. Yes, I'm a non-resident to PA.
Hunt your own state.
Hunt my own state. But it was the first cool morning that we've had. And would you say because the farm, my new farm's not that far from
It
you? Where
was
was it?
upper 40s here.
Upper 40s, right? So with that cold front um, that hit this morning, my cameras went nuts, and I saw on the PA farm, I saw 4 new bucks that I haven't seen before. So bucks are moving; they're shifting a little bit. Um, on my Maryland spot, I saw a few bucks as well that I haven't seen before as well. So what we're going to talk about is what that kind of means, and let people know that now is the time that you will start seeing this type of movement. So what's happening this time of year? What do you got?
What's happening?
Yeah.
You mean with
Why?
the cool temperatures and the deer are moving?
Yeah.
Oh,
What, eh,
well, they're
just
probably traveling to different food.
right.
I mean, this the summer's coming to a close and hunting season's starting, and uh, the soft mast. Some of it's about used up by now, and
Hmm.
they're going to start transitioning to plots and acorns.
Woody
Uh,
stuff.
yeah, they'll get into some of the buds and things because once the leaves turn brown, they pretty much quit eating them. You
Hmm.
know, you
Yeah.
very rarely see a deer bend down and eat a leaf off the ground unless it's still green.
You know
You
what's
know,
going to happen this year? I think is from that drought we had for so long, the leaves are going to fall off earlier.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet
So
the first good rainfall in October it's going to be
right,
bare.
it's going to take out a lot of the because a lot of those leaves now are actually, at least by me, they're. I mean, they're turning yellow a little bit.
Yeah, we've got there's some maples down the road the guy has, and they turn red real early
Hmm.
every year, like 3 weeks before the rest of the trees start to turn. Well, they're already red.
Really?
Yeah, they're already red.
It's crazy too. Is they're the first ones that bloom in the spring.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you're right about that. I mean, because look at what's happening to the acorns.
Dropped early.
Yeah, the acorns are starting to drop already, and they're not big.
Hmm.
Um, the only thing is there is a lot of them, so maybe some will hang on. But I think, like I said, first good storm in October, things are going to drop, and if it gets windy, that'll probably knock down the rest of them,
Hmm.
and then they might be more patternable um, for food sources, anyhow.
Yeah.
Um,
You're
not
saying
as
if the
not as
acorns are wiped, if they feed them all, if they eat them all,
If they
that,
yeah, if they
yeah,
drop and they eat them all, you might
right.
be able to pattern them better at a like at a plot or something,
Hmm.
It might show up a little more steady.
Yeah.
Um, Otherwise, though, I usually hunt the acorn flats, I try to get on a bench somewhere on the mountain and, try to catch
You've
them
been up
coming.
there recently. Is there acorns up there?
Yeah, yeah, and the funny thing is, I see a normal size one, but I see a lot of tiny ones, and
Stressed
I've
out.
actually seen turkeys eat those little ones.
Hmm.
Go around, pick up those little ones. You cut them open after you shoot one in the fall or something, and I find a lot of those baby acorns. You know, so they'll eat them too. They'll clean them up. But what did you just say? You said something there, and I missed that.
Stressed out.
Yes, that was what I wanted to key in on.
Yep. No rain. No rain.
Nope, we had that drought. Well, let's go back. Let's start at the beginning of the year when we had that very late frost,
Hmm.
and then it was drought-like conditions in the spring, and then the summertime we had this monsoon weather, and now we're back into a drought pattern,
Yep.
and it's going to start to cool off. And we had the episode podcast where we was talking about the guys freaking out because they weren't getting rain for their fall plots.
Oh, they were freaking out. All right.
Yeah, and then some guy recognized what I said in that podcast, and he wrote me a big long note there about, um, would the dew be enough? And I wrote back and said, absolutely yes. If you're getting a good, you know, when the dew point drops, and you get a good hard dew every night like we've got, because it's been so humid that it's so moist anyhow, you know, even though we weren't getting the rain, but it was helping people with germination for sure.
Hmm.
The dew sure helps. Now,
Yeah,
if you live in a
definitely.
dry climate, you are screwed
Yeah, definitely.
until you get some moisture.
Yeah. I want to just touch on the shifting with deer again a little bit more. But like you said, food stuff, food sources. Blah, 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 blah. Start over.
Start over
Food sources are changing. So
for
you
sure.
got the acorns and stuff that, yes, a lot of them dropped early, but you still have the ones that are still dropping. You
Mhm.
have natural browse at this time of year that's drying out. It's going dormant. It's losing its palatability. And then bucks in general start shedding their velvet. Most of the bucks I've seen so far in Maryland, they're completely, rubbed off so far. So
Yeah.
when that happens, testosterone and stuff changes, and they roam out. They venture out away from kind of like where they summered. Now, some bucks, like on my farm, I made a video about this last year. I killed a buck there called 210, and he basically summered on my farm, and then he did leave a little bit in October, but then he came back toward the last like 2 weeks of October. So he came back and then spent majority of his time within that area right there, whatever his, I guess, home range would be.
Home range. Yeah.
Um, so he was within. He was using my property as part of his home range core area. Um, but I made a video about how, from what I noticed, is when you kill a buck, there's usually another buck that does the same thing as that buck. And that's what I'm starting to see. I have this other buck that's similar to that buck I killed last year, 210. He pretty much summered there all year, and now he's there less frequently. So he's somewhere else, but he's still using my farm as his area,
Hmm.
but it's less than what it was in the summer. But he's doing the same exact thing as the 210 buck. Same trails, same patterns, pretty much same times of day, night. Right now it's like, I would say with that specific buck, it's 50-50, 50% daylight pictures, 50% nighttime pictures. Um, and that's what I'm seeing with him, but he's doing the same thing. So you can use that. People can use that with certain bucks. You can kind of predict, uh, what they're going to do if you have several, mature deer. Is that if you take one out, most likely another one is going to do the same exact thing.
Right.
Um, so that's what's happening right now this time of year. The velvet's shedding off, food sources are changing. But another thing,
Can I add something real quick?
add it up.
What's happening right now too is they're running in a bachelor group, and they're about to things start to ramp up a little bit in October. Rut wise, they're going to start dispersing each other and fighting them all, chasing each other off and things, and
Yeah, that's what they're
uh,
doing now.
that's changing your patterns too. I mean,
Hmm.
I've got the other night back here in the feed plot behind camp, I had 10 deer and 7 of them were buck. And there's probably one out there I probably would shoot. And
Let's rephrase that. You have a doe factory.
oh, stop it. No, what the neighbor guy told me was since I had so many does that it would push off all the bucks. Well, right
But you
now I've got
but
more
you have the
bucks than I
bucks.
have does.
Right.
It's kind of funny, man. And when I look
Tell
over,
them next time you see him, tell him to stop drinking the Kool-Aid.
oh man, well, you know who he's been watching when he hears that, when he's spewing that garbage.
Yeah.
But we ain't going there. But yeah, I
Right.
mean, I
Not today.
that's going to that's going to make the transition for these deer also. That
What
everything's
Yeah,
good.
everything's changing.
Yeah,
Well,
everything's changing.
what else is happening too is some states you have hunting season starts. So you're starting to
Yeah,
get
true.
pressure on deer. So then, especially the bigger bucks and stuff, they're kind of going to shift a little bit away from that
Right.
pressure to go somewhere where they're not. That's technically not happening in PA right now because the season hasn't started. But what you also have this time of year is hunters like to wait till the last minute to start working on their property. So you may have a farm in, you know, uh, just say in PA, for example, and your neighbors are starting to hang tree stands or they're
Right.
doing things. So they're kind of pushing deer around. In my state, Maryland, the season started last week. So that pressure is already happening because the deer season started. So yeah,
This is the
people.
first year that I haven't had tree stands out a month ahead of time.
Mhm.
And reason being is I'm thinking about going more mobile, moving around a little bit with my sticks and things,
You could, yeah.
you know. So I didn't necessarily hang stands yet, but what might happen though is when I go into an area and if it works out pretty good, I might just leave the stand there and take my sticks down. I always lock them up anyhow. But my first time in, I'll probably go in early and set up and probably just leave the stand there, you
Mhm.
know. But I have an idea where I want to be. I go mainly same areas every year anyhow.
Mhm.
It's good spots and I have cameras up and I get intel that way and I know that it's beneficial to sit in those areas and I'm going to see some deer. So
Oh,
I
you'll
mean,
see
I
deer.
know where I'm going. I haven't. Usually, I have the stands up at least a month ahead of time. But that also telescopes to the next guy scouting that oh hey, this must be a good spot. There's a stand there. So this year I'm not going to telescope my spots. I'm just going to roam around, go mobile a little bit, and see where everybody else is going.
and hunt away from them.
Hunt the next tree beside them,
Yep.
like they do to me.
Right. Me too. I get kids running around. I get people running around. I get people stalking, and
Dude, I cannot believe that last camera pull. I had all them people on my camera. Ridiculous.
You're bitter about it.
I am. I've never had people back there snooping around, and now I got a freaking circus parading around back there.
Might be time to move.
And the criminal too. I caught the criminal on my camera.
Criminal.
Yeah, the dude that broke in to that rental cabin there.
Yeah.
I got him on camera. Not once but twice. I could have broke the crime scene wide open with pictures.
America's Most Wanted.
Yep, I could have caught him and got the reward money, but I kept quiet and they caught him anyhow.
Right. Oh, they did catch him?
Yeah, they did catch him.
Well, that's good.
Yep.
Good.
So yeah, I mean, like you were saying, food shifting, deer pushing each other around.
Let's talk about food changing, because what's changing? The natural vegetation is starting to
natural
die
vegetation
off.
is starting to go dormant on us.
Yeah.
And then the leaves will drop, and you might, if you have any woods plots, they might perk up a little bit before they go dormant again, since you'll be getting some sunlight, daylight, heat down to the ground.
You know what I noticed is that the old farm had lots of goldenrod around the edges and stuff. The deer would not touch that goldenrod until right about now.
Yep, until
it would start to flower, yellow flowers on it and stuff, and they will hit it now for a couple weeks, and then it just goes completely dormant. But they wouldn't touch that. Not that I witnessed that. They didn't ever really hit it during the summer. And ragweed as well. Ragweed is really high in protein.
Oh, they love ragweed.
I saw some data analysis on that. It's high in protein. But yeah, if you have goldenrod, it's good stuff to have. Obviously, have a balance of stuff, but they do eat it. It's just a certain time of year.
Last year, I saw some deer go across the field, and they got to my screen, and the screen was nice and mature, and it had the seed heads on it, and one was bent over, and that deer was gnawing on that seed head. Totally surprised me. But when you think about it, sorghum is grown a lot of times and put in chop. They chop it for cows and stuff, so there is a certain sweetness to it, I guess, at maturity. So it shouldn't surprise me, but normally we always tell people, well, don't use food source for your screening, because that just attracts deer to the screen, and then you're trying to get by them, and they're right on the other side eating a corn, eating off an ear of corn. A lot of guys try to use corn for a screen. To each your own, but I don't think it's a good idea. We always say, use something like an Egyptian wheat or a sorghum that's not so food attractive. And
there's a screen out there that I saw that had buckwheat in it. It had sorghum. It had peas and soybeans in it.
Huh.
Why would you use a screen for that? That doesn't even make sense.
That's a food plot.
Yeah, that's a food plot right there. Doesn't even make sense.
No, huh?
It's like wiping before you poop. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, that hopefully that pretty much sums up, what's happening this time of year. I think we'll go ahead and end 39, because you got some stuff to get ready for bear hunting.
Yeah,
I got some stuff to do, and yeah, so everybody, when you come back, you got to give us that bear update.
We should have stories.
We'll have stories.
Even if I don't kill one, why?
We'll have stories.
Maybe we'll have some good stories.
Because you'll have some bear hunts. I got some deer
Yeah,
hunts I'll
I'm
be going.
primitive camping, and I
Yeah,
haven't been camping since I was a kid, so the stories from that alone should be entertaining.
yeah, you're gonna get attacked by a bear.
Oh, don't say that.
Nah, you'll be all right. All right, well, podcast 39. Hope everybody enjoys the week listening, and
Oh, I do want to say one thing before we go.
yeah,
3 weeks without stick deodorant.
you're still on that.
Yep.
3 weeks.
3 weeks I haven't used deodorant. Still using the
That
Lemon Shield core
core
body
body
foam.
foam. That's crazy.
Yep.
I
Yep.
did 5 days because I was
Yep.
at the hotel camping and or not camping in a hotel, but I was hunting and I went 5 days and I applied it I think 3 times over those 5 days.
Yeah.
No
I've
smell.
been able to stretch it out 2-3 days
Wow.
between applying,
Wow.
which is ridiculous for how I'm a welder, and I work 10-hour days,
That's crazy.
and it's hot in that building. Yeah, it's real crazy. I can't. The stuff's legit, man. I hope the rest of the products are the same, which I'm sure they are.
Tried telling you that 4 years ago. You
I'm
don't listen.
sure.
You don't ever listen.
Well, I was telling someone else about it, and they was like, "Stop right there! I got the product for you." And they named this other product.
Mm,
And I was like, "Well, maybe it's good too, but I'm sticking with this one. This one's already proved to me it's legit."
yep.
So, if nothing else, man, I'll use that foam like crazy. I like it.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well,
Okay, guys,
we'll see everybody on number
updates
40.
coming. Yep,
Update
40.
episode 40.
Yes, sir.
Later.